All right, so the number one question I always get is, I want to add 100 listings to my Etsy shop. Is that a good idea? Or I want to get 2 to 3 listings added to my Etsy shop every single day for the next year. Is that a good strategy? And that's a question I get asked a lot. So I want to talk about the pros and the cons of what works, what doesn't. I've sold on Etsy for the past 7 years, and I've sold over 200,000 sales. And this strategy, or most of my sales came from this strategy. Etsy's kind of like a social media where it relies on trends, on new things coming in, and so you constantly have to add things, and you constantly have to update, your Etsy shop, add new seasons, some Mother's Day coming along, Valentine's, Father's, you constantly have to get your Etsy shop to move. If it's stale, if you're not adding anything new, it's going to slowly dwindle in sales. Now, there are some products that are more evergreen and they have a longer duration. And I have had products that have done that, but it is almost inevitable that somebody else will create a product that might even look the same exact as yours that will start to nibble at your revenue or at your sales. And you do that at 100 different people selling the same product, then you're going to even have an even more difficult time. So you constantly have to think about this on constant movement Etsy shop. Now, you can dilute your sales. You can dilute your conversion rates. If you're adding bad listings and you're just adding listings that don't convert, yes, that might be a problem. We'll talk about that in a second. But with the past 7 years that I've sold, this has been one of my main strategies. And I also manufacture for other sellers right now. I've kind of opened up my doors to a print-on-demand manufacturing supplier. And we've already done over 100,000 sales. And this is a strategy that I tell them to do, because the product that we sell, which is dog collars, has that capacity, or it has that keyword library. Not every product can do that. Like if you're selling leather wallets, and you only got 3 different types of leather and you're making it yourself, well, it's kind of difficult to really expand. Now you can still expand within the wallet. You can do groomsmen gifts, Father's Day, or money clip. You can really expand in the keywords, but it's the products that you can just print different designs. It's something you can engrave a different designs just at the switch of a file, right? But if you have to manufacture a lot more to just get a different keyword, well, that's going to be very difficult because the manufacturing is a restraint. Now, if you are a print-on-demand seller, then that makes it easier. You just find another product and you add more. So it really depends what kind of products we're talking about. Now, if you are in the category, say you're in the wedding space, we'll just keep finding more products. Okay. If you're kind of niching down, and make sure that the niche that you're in, you can have a lot of keywords that actually apply to the holiday season. Just because you're gonna slap the word Christmas in it doesn't mean it's going to do well during the holiday. Now, Christmas is kind of a unicorn in the sense that just slapping the word gift on anything pretty much would do well. But a lot of times it's not just about putting the keyword in the listing that will all of a sudden diversify your Etsy shop. It's about being relevant. And that's the first mistake people make when they add a lot of listings, is they're not actually focusing on relevancy. So for example, if you are making some candle, right? Let's just say you're selling candles and you have a personalized candle. It's a very bland listing. It just says personalization or custom text here with just a white label, and it's a candle. You can't type in the word Christmas gift, right? Because you're less relevant than somebody that has a candle that has, wreaths around it, or it has a very Christmas-like design on the label, and the candle itself is either red or green. It has this really relevancy to the season. They're gonna get better clicks than your very bland white, soy candle that just has a white label. Just because you put in the word Christmas gift does not mean it's going to sell. In fact, you've just added another keyword that means nothing to nobody, and everybody else that is relevant, that have the colors to support it, the label to support it, they are more likely to be selling. And so what happens now is you created another product that's now diluting your Etsy shop. So relevancy is the most important thing you need to focus on when you are creating more listing, right? So first, I would always recommend is follow the trends, follow the next thing that's coming up. Say if it's Father's Day, if it's Mother's Day, Valentine's, or maybe it's a culture shift, or maybe July 4th. I think July 4th is going to be pretty big this year. So follow the trend. Or maybe there's something that happened in the sports world, right? Some people sell a lot of Ukrainian flags. That's a big one. So really thinking about what's the big thing, what's the next thing, and creating a product that is relevant to it. Just because you have, I don't know, the Ukraine thing going on and you put a Ukrainian flag on the candle, well, that might not be as appropriate as somebody putting in or selling, dog bandanas and putting a Ukrainian flag. That might be more appropriate. So it's not just because you want to fit into the trend, but make sure the product itself will add to what the trend is. And so that thinking about those things. Now, if you have a product, think about not only the trend, but also how your product can support the trends or apply to the trends. And the third thing I would say, create a list of things that your product will be serving in. If it's a gift, if in gifting space, our birthdays, maybe weddings, maybe, events, certain kind of events, white elephant gift, Secret Santa, all of these giftable or in the gift niche spaces, and see how many keywords that you can find that your gift will be appropriate. Once you get a list of that, right? You then, create your listing in relevancy. Like I said, just because you're selling a candle that has the word Christmas on it, Christmas gift, doesn't mean you're going to be relevant. Make sure that your thumbnail or the color of the candle, the color of the label is accurate in terms of really being relatable to the keyword. And so doing that at scale is what really helps, right? When I tell my sellers that sell dog collars, there are trends that they cannot enter, right? There are trends that they cannot get into, like birthday. I've always thinking about okay, is birthday gift or birthday this balloons and celebration, is that a good niche to get into? The answer is no, right? But if you're going into something patriotic, well, that a dog collar is something because people want to put something patriotic on the dog. Then hey, instead of designing a dog collar with balloons and confetti, design it with an American flag with some eagle scratches and something that's more, move it into that direction. So if you can do this at scale and you do that 2 to 3 listings a day, you constantly find the new trend, the new keywords that are happening. That's going to really make an impact. Now let's talk about the impact, right? Let's talk about what is actual growth going to look like. There are different types of products that will actually get you traffic differently. So for example, if you're doing holiday seasons, well, you're not going to get traffic all in the same month. It's going to be spread out throughout the year, right? Father's Day is not on the same day as Mother's Day. Valentine's is not at the same day as Thanksgiving. So what you're going to do, if you are targeting seasons, you are going to be putting more and more listings, but it's going to be throughout the year, right? And I would also recommend that you constantly freshen up, like say you've had some Christmas products, still add more Christmas products, all right? Etsy does like new trend, new colors, new things in the season. And so add new stuff, but the idea is that just because you're adding holiday products doesn't mean you're going to get all the sales right away. It's obviously going to be spread throughout the year. Or if you're doing, say, a niche, right? You're doing a summer niche, say birthday parties, or maybe, probably not birthday, but say weddings, right? You're going to have different types of wedding products. That's your keywords. You're going to spread to different kind of products. Well, you're going to get a lot of traffic during the summertime and maybe less traffic during the wintertime. Now, wedding planning still happens in the winter, but the idea is that you're going to have a different types of inflow of traffic. So if you are starting to do this strategy, you're watching this video in the winter and you're going to do wedding products, don't expect your sales to blow up. You be patient for the summertime. Start putting them during the winter, maybe format them or make them relevant for the holiday season, that then will also be relevant for the Christmas or for the summertime when it does arrive. This also, by the way, side note, does happen. For example, if you're doing gift boxes, well, gift boxes could work for the holiday season, but they could also translate to the wedding space. Now, it gets a little bit tricky how far of a relevancy you want to do it. If you're adding, make it very look Christmassy in your thumbnail, it's going to be kind of difficult to really sell it during the summertime. But I have seen products do that. Like for example, Valentine's Day and this pink and this hearts worked really well for Mother's Day, or worked really well for breast cancer awareness. So stuff like that does happen. But just know, like if it's a seasonal, you're going to have it in the season, and be patient if it's not in the season. Or you'll have things that are that might be year round. Like if you are going to be expanding to different states, right? You're doing keychains and you're going to do every single state, every single country. You're just expanding. You're creating 2 new country emblems a day, right? That one's a good one because that might be existing throughout the year, but they still might have a seasonality to it. Maybe in the summertime they buy more because they're maybe, you know, they're buying souvenirs for the trips that they're going to. So how success looks like, you have to be aware of that. So just because you're adding a lot of listings and you don't see the success or you don't see the results, just really understand what kind of product that you are, or what kind of a line of keywords you are adding to your Etsy shop, or the listings, and then understand that that's going to be resulting in success. Now, side note, if you're getting ready for holidays, I would recommend 2 months in advance so that you can really capitalize on the holidays. Minimum, like you could do 3 or 4 months, but at least 2 months in advance, okay? So does the strategy work? Yes, I actually tell my sellers to do that as well, because that's what we do with dog collars. By the way, if you do want to be part of the seller program, I'm going to be closing it down soon. I haven't set a date to it, but we are getting ready for the holiday season. I'm buying up inventory and I do need to know how many people actually want to sell. A lot of people send me emails asking questions, but I'm only doing it based on the people that actually sign up. It's a very, very awesome program where I manufacture any orders that come in. We have a basic and infrastructure. We have the best prices. We have better, I can confidently say we have better prices than Printful, Printify with their dog collar prices, much better prices. And I believe we have a better product. So if you aren't interested in selling dog collars, check out the link in the description below. By the way, if you like this video, make sure to give this video a like. And if you want to follow more videos on how to actually sell on Etsy, because I've been successful and I'm currently manufacturing for a lot of Etsy shops, and I get to see behind the scenes and I get to share all this information with you guys. So make sure to subscribe, hit the bell notification, and until next time, you guys have a great one.